Hey, what's happening? I'm Ross. So we got an article today out of lendingtree.com about Americans dating less because of inflation. So I haven't read it yet. I really don't have a preamble to this, so let's get into it. It's a pretty long article, though. I know that much, so I'm probably not going to go through the whole thing, but I'll hit the high points, and there is a link in the description. But without further ado, let's get into it. 77% of daters say dating could be easier if they had more money, with some going on fewer dates due to inflation. Inflation is impacting almost every aspect of Americans' lives, and dating is included. According to the latest Lending Tree survey, the majority of Americans who are dating say it would be easier if they had more money, and nearly 1 in 5 of them say going on fewer dates. They are going on fewer dates because of inflation. So 20% of daters are going on fewer dates because of inflation. Yeah, everything, pretty much everything would be easier if you had more money. We asked 1,578 U.S. consumers about their dating habits. In addition, we'll highlight who's most likely to take on debt to afford their dates. Okay, so that's crazy. You should not be taking on debt to date. If you can't go on dates without debt, I got to question what kind of dates you're going on. Like, can you not think of something free? Like, going to create a connection with someone does not have to cost you money, but if you don't have enough money to go make those connections, you need to be working on your salary, getting your income up, paying off your debt. Like, nobody should be taking on debt to go on a date. That is insane. Absolutely insane. Red flags all over the place. More red flags than the bumped in blood party. So the key findings: 77% of daters say dating could be easier if they had more money. Obvious, okay, I agree. This is more common among men, yeah, 83% than women, 73%. Wow, that's a pretty high percentage for women. Wow, I wouldn't think it would be that high. I think, and I don't know, maybe I'm old fashioned or something. I think the expectation is that men pay for the dates, at least the first, second dates, at least. I mean, you're probably gonna get laughed out of the place you try to get her to pay for the date. I mean, there are some women I guess that'll pay for a first date, but it ain't many. A lack of money directly impacts some, as nearly 1 in 5, 19% who are dating say they're going on fewer dates because of inflation. Yeah, it's almost 20%. It's a lot. Another 14% are trying to spend less on dates. Again, that's what I say. If you're going into debt on a date, at least try to spend less on the date. I would just say, man, stop dating for a while till you get your money right, for sure. And for the ladies, I don't even know. Do you guys pay for dates? And if so, why? Regardless of whether they're actively dating, more than half of men, 54%, say the man should pay for the first date. Yeah, that's. I'm surprised it's at 54%. So there was what, 46% of men that said, they that women should pay on the first date. I mean, I guess if the woman invites you out and she's, you know, it's a different age. Maybe if she does invite you out on the first date, then she should pay. But how many guys are getting invited out on first dates? I mean, oh, I kill myself. Meanwhile, 26% of women say date costs should be split between the two. What? Go find you a keeper. Go find one of them 26% of women. Hey, if you one of these dudes and you going into debt on your date up in here, you need to go find one of these 26% of women that say they should split the cost on the first date. Gen Zers are more likely to say the person who asks the other on the first date should pay 34%, or that the cost should be split 32%. You know, I think the person that asks, I think that's fair. Like, if you ask to go on a date, if we're in a new age where women can ask a guy on a date, then if you ask a guy on a date, you kind of should be prepared to pay. I'm just saying, it's only fair. Split the cost. I mean, listen, as a dude, okay, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. If you're going on a date, especially if you ask this woman on a date, you should be prepared to pay for the whole thing. And that includes a tip. Don't get there and try to cheat and chintz the waitress on a tip. You should be at least starting your tip at 20%, and it goes up or down from there, right? But you should be able to pay for all of that comfortably. And if you can't, don't go, bro. Don't go. That's a sign that you need to work on yourself, work on your salary, get your money right. Because if you get your money right, you're going to have access to better quality women anyways. I'm just keeping it real. Women like dudes who are earners. Let's be real. Millennials, 22%, are most likely to incur debt because of their dating spending habits. Oh, what? Who takes out debt to go on a date? No, sir. No. I wonder. I wish they broke down. Maybe they do later. Now, I wish they broke down what percentage of men versus women. Unfortunately, I'm willing to get that the majority of that 22% is men. I just can't see a woman taking out debt to go on a date. A woman's just going to find another guy that can pay for the date, right? She's just going to find a different guy that can't pay. I don't know. Maybe I'm being harsh here. Additionally, 6% of Americans have had their card declined on a first date. Oh, yikes. Hey, is that a deal breaker? If there's any ladies listening, is that a deal breaker? If you go out with a guy and I gotta think that's a deal breaker. I gotta think that's gonna be the end of that, whatever was blossoming there. 12% of Americans never want to know how much their partner makes. Beyond that, 12% of Americans never want to know how much their partner makes. Wow. You wouldn't at least be curious? Like, I mean, if you with somebody and they going somewhere for, 8-10 hours a day, every day, all the time, wouldn't you want to know how they're being compensated? I mean, obviously in the dating realm, like at some point you're dating, so it's really not that business. But as you get more serious, don't you think it might come up in conversation, or at least an idea? I'm not saying you got to get into all them they hip pockets and they tax returns, they're 1040s and 1099s, but wouldn't you at least have some idea of what they were making? While 61% of daters say inflation hasn't impacted their dating life, nearly 1 in 5, 19% say they're going on fewer dates because of inflation. That makes it the biggest impact inflation has had on dating Americans among the responses we included. So this is the impact inflation is having on dating. Trying to spend less money on dates, 14%. More selective of who I go on dates with, 4%. Downgraded my dating apps to free accounts from paid subscription, 1%. And their dating habits haven't changed, 61%. Dating men more likely to shell out for first dates. Generally, many daters prefer to spend less than 3 figures on a night out with a new match. Yeah, less than $100 then. Okay, yeah. Especially if you don't know this person, you're just meeting this person. Like you and I can only speak from a man's perspective. Most of the women you meet ain't gonna like you. Like, let's just keep it real. Women are very picky, most of them. So most of the women you take on a first date, it's not gonna pan out. She gonna ghost you. She not gonna be feeling you. She gonna friend zone you. It's more likelihood that it doesn't lead to a relationship or a romantic linked relationship than it does on a first date. So you need to keep them costs low. You need to keep your investment low. See, a lot of women want to get you to get them on this expensive first date and all this and all that, but she don't even know if she like you. She just want to have a good time right then. Listen, you need to keep costs low. And if she bristles at that, maybe that's not the right one for you, because you need to be a good steward of your money. And if you're looking to get married, that is, you're looking for a woman who will also be a good steward of your money. So, yeah, keep it low. 3 figures on a night out with a new match. When asked what they'd spend on a first date, daters said they spend an average of $91 at most. Now, I also got to interject here. This is probably got to be in the middle of the country. You ain't doing nothing in New York, LA, Boston, San Francisco. You ain't doing nothing for $91. Can you even leave the house? I don't even think you can leave the house in one of those cities for $91. However, men might feel the pressure to impress more than women. Of course. No caca. While dating women would spend an average of $81 at most, dating men would spend an average of $104 at most. Out from women is women would spend $81 at most on a first date. I would think it'd be way lower than that. I mean, I'm thinking most other women I know are not going to go on a first date unless it's getting paid for. I mean, unless she asks the guy. But wow, that surprises me that it's even that high. So, hey, maybe there's women out there that'll pay for the first date, fellas. Still shelling out might not be necessary. Overall, 85% of daters say they wouldn't be offended if someone took them on a date that didn't cost money. Okay, that's really high. That's good. But dating women are more likely to say they would be somewhat offended if someone took them on a cost-free date than men. 15% versus 9%. Yeah, no shocker there. I mean, I think a lot of ladies equate with, how much you spend on a date is how much you like her or something, but that's not the case, because I could be rich and spend a lot on a date and not give a daggum about you at all. But because I got it like that, I just do it. Maybe I like to go eat good and I took you to the Michelin star just because, right? Doesn't mean I care a lick about you, you know. And maybe there's a guy who maybe doesn't have it all, but he's a hard worker, and he would lay down his life in defense of you. So just because somebody's spending money on you on a date doesn't mean they care about you. Who should pay for the first date? Regardless of whether they're actively dating, 44% of Americans say that in a heterosexual relationship, the man should pay for the first date, making it the most popular response. Okay, men are more likely to have this opinion than women, though. Wow. More than half, 54% of men say the guy should pay for the first date, compared with 36% of women. 36%? You're telling me only 36% of women think that men should pay for the first date? Hold up here. What? That is shocking to me. I am shocked. So only 36% of women believe the man should pay for the first date? I mean, a couple of these really shocked me. This 36% right here, that really, yeah, I'm taken aback by that. So, you know, I would think more women would kind of require a guy to pay for the first date. So, following that, 29% of Americans say the person who asks the other on a date should pay, while 22% say costs should be split. Generally, women are more likely to prefer splitting the cost than men. Just over a quarter, 26% of women say date costs should be split, compared with 18% of men. Hey, I don't mind. You know, you want to get your little pocketbook out and pay half of it? I'm not offended. You know what? Let me put my little money back in my pocket. Millennials are most likely to take on debt for their dates, while most 85% of Americans haven't gone into debt because of their dating spending habits. Well, thank the goodness. 22% of millennials ages 26 to 41 say they have, the most of any group. Following that, Gen Zers are the second most likely to take on dating-related debt at 19%. Meanwhile, just 13% of Gen Xers, ages 42 to 56, and 4% of baby boomers have had debt from dating. That's 22% of millennials have had debt from a date? That's insane. What do you... No. Schultz attributes millennials' dating debt to the major milestones most Americans expect to achieve at that age range. Millennials are already in an expensive time of their life, and inflation isn't making that any easier. They may already have kids, they may be drowning in student loan debt, and probably have higher rent payment than they did when they were younger. Given what they're going through, they might not have much savings, or what they might be earmarked for a down payment on a house. Yeah, okay, I get it. Times are tough, but I would not be dating. I wouldn't be dating though. It's just I got financial issues to worry about. I don't got time to date. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out my finances. Of Americans who've gone into debt because of their dating spending habits, credit card debt was the most likely culprit, 7%. 7% say they currently have related debt, while 4% say they had it previously. However, some have relied on loans to cover their dating expenses too. 2% currently owe on a loan, and 2% previously had dating-related debt from a loan. Somebody took out a loan to go on a date? Absolutely bonkers. That's stupid. I don't have any other word for it. Just retarded. Can you even say that anymore? Additionally, 2% have borrowed from friends and family, and another 1% currently owe their loved ones. Needless to say, you should not be borrowing on a loan. You should not be borrowing from friends and family. You should not be putting money on credit cards to go on a date. Like I said, if you really like that person, can you think of something low cost or free that you guys can do together to spend time together? That's crazy. Buy now, pay later currently. Buy now, pay later previously. Borrow from friends or family. It's a pretty interesting article. Pretty good time reading it. So anyways, once again, my name is Ross. If you got any value out of this video, you can consider giving me a like or even a subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, but it would help me out immensely. Appreciate it. Peace.